What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Spin Tires taking a look at a new vehicle. Now, this is actually, instead of the UAZ, this is the ZAZ, apparently, and it's a really funky little vehicle. I haven't driven it at all, but it's really small. It's kind of a cab-over pickup truck, almost. It's a really odd little vehicle, but then the way it sounds, too, it's got this weird little rumble to it. I'll let you listen to it for a minute. Whoever did the sounds for this thing did a really good job. Now, you don't have that many add-ons. You've got chained wheels and tires. You've got a driver, which basically, for some reason, a driver adds repair points. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. But you've got actually a fuel attachment and a repair attachment, which you can you can set both of those in the bed of the vehicle. And then you've also got this. It's almost like a garage carriage attachment, but we're not going to use it because I think the utility attachment looks a lot better. And you've also got this, which is basically just like sides for the bed and then a roof rack for the top, which is kind of whatever. But and then you got a little beacon you could put on the top, which just makes it look so ridiculously funny. But we're gonna leave it now. As I'm setting off of this thing, it's actually kind of fast, and the only thing is, now that we've put some weight in the back, I think when we go over some bumps, it's gonna do wheelies occasionally, but that's okay. It's okay. It actually, you know what? It goes better than a UAZ. It really does. It goes better than a UAZ does, and I'm surprised at that because of the way the UAZ is always really good at kind of. I want to say it's always really good at kind of telegraphing its movements to you and telling you ahead of time, like, oh, you better not go in there. I'm gonna get stuck. This thing doesn't even matter. It just goes, and it's a lot faster than a UAZ as well. This I can see being a really, really good scout vehicle because of the fact that it not only is fast, but it's decently good at getting over rocks and small hills, but it's also small, and it can just kind of creep through the woods like this with pretty much, you know, just crawl through the woods with no worries about getting stuck between trees or anything like that. Absolutely no issues at all. And then once you get out of the trees, you can floor it, and it just goes again. It's really not bad at all. Get over to the fuel area over here, and mud just doesn't phase it. Just digs in, no matter what. It just digs in and goes. As long as you leave the diff lock and the all-wheel drive on, you have nothing to worry about. Get refueled real quick. 150 liters. See about getting into a little bit more of a difficult situation this time. I mean, and it still handles itself pretty well. It did not bog down once. Not even close. Not even close to bogging down. Let's try. I mean, occasionally it'll bog down only when it bogs down. That's only because the automatic gearbox wants to change down, not because the actual vehicle is bogging down. Let's see what we can get it to do in here. Wow, okay. The UAZ, I mean, it would probably get through that, but nowhere near as quickly. I mean, this thing, I'm about to say it's got the UAZ beat as far as, like, places it can go while remaining, like, a light, nimble, practical scout vehicle. This thing pretty much has the UAZ beat. I mean, once you get into the really deep stuff, it gets a little bogged down, but other than that, it is really not bad at all. See how it does in water. Decently well, actually. I think it's a little bit deeper over here. Let's see how it does. So it's got a fairly low damage point. So once you actually start to damage it in water, it will continue to be damaged until you get out. So don't try any ridiculous water crossings with this thing. But, I mean, know that it can do it if you had to, but I wouldn't suggest making it, like, something that you do all the time with it, for sure. Let's put it in low and see if we can get it to go out. Oh, it goes straight into high, which is definitely a plus, because when you're trying to get out of something like this, it can just pull itself and pull itself and pull itself until it eventually gets itself out. Or it'll just spin, or it'll grab traction like that, and you'll be good to go. And it just throws mud everywhere in the process, which is nice. I mean, it's theatrical, but it's cool. And then once it gets out and you actually leave it at high, it's pretty freaking quick. In fact, it just bounces everywhere because the wheels are spinning at such a high rate of speed that when it touches down, you're almost concerned about, you're more concerned about it keeping itself upright rather than keeping it going, because it will bounce and hook up on the ground, and then it's just like, it just bounces all over the place. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're driving this thing in high, but other than that, it's actually quite fun to drive. It does pull itself forward a little bit abruptly, though, sometimes. It's just so hilarious, though, how it slings mud everywhere, no matter what. There's the river. That's the only thing. With us testing this on the river map, I feel like it's not going to do really well actually crossing the river. And I feel like it would actually do pretty well on the Blackwater Raceway, and we'll test it out there later on. But yeah, I feel like the river is not the best place for this thing. Let's see where we are in relation to the river. Okay, so that's about where the river crossing is. So that's where we want to get to. And the nice thing about being able to start it off in high is we can just leave it there. And then once we get to the river crossing, we don't even have to worry about setting off in low and then changing up to high or anything like that. It'll just go. Trying to stay. You know, honestly, it's better to stay just a little bit in the river so you don't have to deal with those rocks. Because especially for something like this with smaller tires, those rocks can be a little bit hard to manage. This is where I generally cross with the UAZ, and I can generally make it. So, let's see how this goes. Hopefully it doesn't go terribly. Oh, jeez. It's working! Yes! No problem at all. Alright, second half. This is usually the trickier part. Come on, come on, come on, come on! Wow, okay, it pulled itself all the way across the river. I mean, got a sizable amount of damage in the process, but not too bad as far as actually just basically pushing through everything in its way and just heading straight across the river. I'm going to put it back into auto because I know it can get up to faster speeds once you get it up to like 3rd and 4th gear, but well, now that we're out on the pavement, we don't need it, or at least we don't need the diff lock and high. So, oh, fuel station. I don't really need it, but and that's the other thing with this thing. It makes it a great scout vehicle too, because if you're exploring a map that you don't know, like at all, if you're exploring like a modded map that you're totally new to, once you fill this thing up as far as fuel goes, you're good. I mean, it doesn't use that much fuel like at all. Even when you've got, you know, you got the diff lock on, you're in all-wheel drive, you know, in high or something, it still doesn't. So you're going to keep going for quite a while on a tank as far as exploring goes. And you won't have to send the fuel truck out for quite a while. Oh, getting it sideways, a little too sideways, and kind of up the side of a bank. We can get this thing going again. Come on, more power! I want to go. Let's go right. And that's the nice thing about this little truck too. You can just say, let's go right, and then just decide right at the last minute, and just go that way because it's so nimble. It just doesn't even it doesn't even ask any questions. It's just like, okay, we'll go that way. I highly doubt it, but as kind of like a last test for this video, I wonder. Oh no, no, that was a bad idea, and now we've stalled it out. It's hilarious because the last test we rolled the vehicle, and then in this test we rolled the vehicle as well at the end. So let's try to break this trend of rolling things over. I mean, again, they were both very top-heavy vehicles, but still. But if you guys enjoyed this test, then don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. And also, if you want to try this vehicle out for yourself, then there'll be a link in the description box below.